Today I saw a couple who were in at least their 50s. This on its own would be fairly unassuming if it were not for the fact that they were stood in the bus queue, eating face with all the vigour of someone a third of their age. But this got me thinking, what is the actual problem with public displays of affection? So putting aside the gag reflex for a second, let's consider this in greater detail. Personally, as a cynic and a pessimist, seeing anyone express their happiness outwardly and openly is a matter of disgust to me. However, there is theoretically nothing wrong with the odd cuddle in public with a loved one or a spot of hand-holding. The problem lies when it comes to more detailed stuff. It is not okay to start grinding up against each other in a city centre with multiple onlookers who are just trying to go about their daily lives. When I go to fetch a tin of beans, I don't want to be a third party to some amateur porn shoot outside the local Asda. This leads me on to consider the case of the nightclub. Try to imagine that the phenomenon did not exist and there was no such thing as a nightclub. If I were then to be told that I could go to a tightly packed, overheated, damp room with a large proportion of drunken louts and observe a group of strangers rub their junk up and down on one another to a lazy drum beat, I think I'd give it a miss and pop down to the pub. At least then there isn't the possibility of abandonment by your closest friends as they become overwhelmed with carnal lust. The result I have come to is that no one wants to see wrinkly skin writhing in lust whilst they're waiting for a bus. Keep it to yourself and save it for the arthritic bedroom antics. However, I'd like to leave you with one more issue that needs to be raised. Perhaps the worst problem with PDA is that it is impossible not to look at. Now this presents you with the problem of what to do when one of the participating parties looks up and sees a disgusted pedestrian watching their heated public to and fro. For some reason, most of the participants of these vulgar displays look accusingly, as if the unwitting passerby is peering into their deep private life, and as a response, the stranger merely puts their head down and moves on, trying to put the micro-ordeal behind them. I propose, however, that these horrific displays need to be stopped, so next time you see a couple writhing on a street corner, wait for them to notice you and smile slightly, motioning them to continue. I'm sure they'll move away post-haste. Though be careful, because if not, you may have gained some very close new friends. Sincerely, Teetotal.